defined as a process of selecting certain numbers or subsets of the population to make statistical inferences out of them and to estimate the characteristics of the whole population. Okay, then here sampling is widely used by the researchers in market research so that they don't need to research or study the entire population to collect the actionable insights. Then it is also time convenient. Then it also cost effective, and it forms the basis for any research design. Okay, then for example, if any drug manufacturer would like to research the adverse side effects of a drug on the population of the country, then it is closed and it is impossible to be able to conduct a research study that involves everyone. Okay. Now, for example, a drug manufacturer want to research on the adverse side effects of the one particular drug on the entire population of the country. Then here it is not possible to conduct a research on entire population. So what a drug manufacturer does, he will take few samples. He pick few samples and he will apply the drug on the samples. Then he will derive the conclusion. Okay. Then in this case, the research decide a sample of people from each demographic and then conducts the research on them, which gives them an indicative feedback on the behavior of the drug on the population. Okay. That is, he will be choosing the population, okay, from each subset. Age wise, he will take the population. Okay. Then he will be conducting trials. Okay. And he will find the feedback. Okay, that is what is the outcome by implying the drug. Okay. Then he will be drawing inferences on the basis of the samples, sample study. Then that's how the sampling method is going to help. Here, but taking the constraints with regard to time, with regard to budget, with regard to the total data, total population, it is not possible to study the entire population. So what a researcher does, he will go for the sampling. Okay. Then next one, we will be discussing about the types of sampling or sample design. Then in the first one is probability sampling. The other one is non-probability sampling. Then in probability sampling also we have different types, whereas in non-probability sampling also we have different types. Then here, now what is probability sampling is? Probability sampling is a sampling method that selects random numbers of a population. Okay. Probability sampling is a method that selects random members of a population by setting few selection criteria. Okay. Then random numbers will be chosen from the entire population by setting a selection criteria. Then these selection parameters allow every member to have the equal opportunity to be part of the various samples. Okay. In probability sampling, that is, every unit in the entire population is having a chances to get selected. Okay. That is to be probability sampling. Okay. Again, I repeat, probability sampling is a sampling method that selects random members of the population by setting a few selection criteria. The criteria will be there, and the basis of that, the sampling will be done. Then, in this, the selection criteria allows every member to have a equal opportunity or equal chance to be part of the sampling. Okay. Then next one is non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling. The non-probability sampling method is said to be reliant on researchers' ability to select members at random. This sampling method is not a fixed or predefined selection process, which makes it difficult for all the elements of the population to have a equal opportunity to be included in the sample. Okay. Then non-probability sampling is said to be reliant on a researcher's ability to select members at random. Then this sampling method is not fixed or predefined selection process, which makes it difficult for all the elements of the population to have a equal opportunity. Then here in non-probability sampling, there will be no equal opportunity for every unit of the population to get selected. Okay. Then there will be no criteria for selection, proper criteria for selection. That is, as a researcher will and wishes, he will choose the sample. Okay, there is to be non-probability sampling. Okay, whereas in probability sampling, there will be selection criteria where every unit in the population is having an equal opportunity. Whereas in non-probability sampling, there is no such selection criteria. Then the researcher will be choosing the units samples for research randomly. Okay, the next one, types of sampling, that is under the probability sampling method. Okay, I said you there are a category in probability sampling. Okay, then probability sampling is said to be a sampling technique in which sample from a larger population are chosen using a method based by a theory of probability. Okay, then here probability sampling, in this sample from a larger population are chosen using a method based on the theory of probability. Okay, you are all aware about the theory of probability. Okay, that is, this sampling method considers every member of the population and forms samples on the basis of the fixed process. Okay, then for example, in a population of 1,000 members, assume that in a locality there are 1,000 members. Each of these members will have 1/1000 chances of being selected to be a part of the sample study. Then it gets rid of bias in the population and gives a fair chance to all members to be included in the sample. Okay. Then here, when it comes to probability sampling, there are 4 types. One is simple random sampling. Simple random sampling. One of the best probability sampling technique that helps in saving time and resources is simple random sampling. Okay, majority of the researcher will be going for this process. Okay,
Sir, for few members, it's not connecting, it seems, sir.
I think they are from B section. Sushma and Sultan, they are trying, so you need not to worry. You continue. Okay. Then here, simple random sampling. Okay, then since simple random sampling is said to be the one of the preferred method of sampling. Okay, then here in simple random sampling, the information will be gathered. The information will be gathered randomly by a chance, and each individual has the exact same probability of being chosen to be part of the sample. Okay, that is, randomly we'll be picking the people. For example, out of 1,000 people, we'll be choosing 50 as a sample. Okay, we'll be choosing randomly. Okay, as the researcher is wishing, as the researcher is willing, he can go and he will be choosing the people. That is, out of 1,000 people, he will be choosing 50 people for sample survey. Okay, there is said to be simple random sampling. Okay, then simple random sampling is said to be one of the best probability sampling technique that helps in saving time and resources. Then it is a simple random method, it is said to be trustworthy method of obtaining information, where every single member of the population is chosen randomly, and that is it happens merely by chance, and each individual has the exact same probability of being chosen to be part of the sample. Okay. For example is given for simple random sampling. Listen, in an organization of 500 employees, if the HR team decides on conducting team building activity, it is highly likely that they would prefer picking chits out of the bowl. In this case, each of 500 employees has an equal opportunity to be selected. Okay. Then here, one example I have given with regard to the company. A HR team want to conduct a team building activity. The company has 500 employees. Then the 500 employees, out of the 500 employees, the team, the HR team want to give a chance to 50 people, 50 employees in team building activity. Then all the 500 employees name will be written, okay, in a written, and it will be put in a bowl. Okay, then it will be the chips will be picked up to choose the 50 lucky people. Okay, this is said to be simple random sampling. Okay, the next one, cluster sampling. Okay, then cluster sampling is a method where researchers divide the entire population into sections or clusters that represents the population. Clusters are identified and included in the sample on the basis of the defining demographic parameters such as age, location, sex, etc., which make it extremely easy for a survey creator to derive effective inferences from the feedback. For example, with regard to cluster sampling, if the government of Britain wishes to evaluate the number of immigrants living in the UK, they can divide it into clusters on the basis of these nations like India, Pakistan, then Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, US, and so on. Then this way they will conduct a survey that will be more effective, and the results will be organized into different countries and provides insightful immigration data. Okay. And then there's going to be cluster sampling. Cluster sampling is a method where researchers divide the entire population into different sections. How many Indians are there? How many Bangladeshis are there? How many American citizens are there? Like that, there will be classification will happen, and the study will goes on the basis of the cluster sampling. Okay. The next one, systematic sampling. Systematic sampling. Then under systematic sampling method, members of the sample are chosen. Members of the sample are chosen at regular intervals of the population. Then it requires selection of a starting point for the sample and sample size that can be repeated at a regular intervals. This type of sampling method has a predefined interval, and hence this sampling technique is the least time consuming. Okay. Systematic sampling. Then systematic sampling method, under this method, members of the sample are chosen at a regular interval of a population. It requires selection of a starting point for the sample and sample size that can be repeated at a regular intervals. This type of sampling method has a predefined interval, and hence this sampling technique is the least time consuming. If, for example, with regard to this, a researcher intends to collect a systematic sample of 500 people in a population of 5,000. Then each element of the population will be numbered from 1 to 5,000 members, and every 10th individual will be chosen to be part of the sample. Okay. A number, the researcher has 5,000 people is the total population. Out of this 5,000, he want to take a sample of 500 people. And then As per this systematic sampling, the researcher will be numbering 1 to 5,000 as a 1 to 5,000 people. Okay, number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, up to 5,000 he will be numbering. And every 10th individual in the 5,000 population he will be choosing as a part of the sample. Okay. That is here it goes like total population divided by the sample size. That is 5,000 divided by 500. Okay, that is here in 5,000 population, every 10th member is having a equal opportunity to get selected. Okay. Then here the number will be given from 1 to 5,000. Then 10th member will be taken for study. Okay. Like that 500 samples will be taken. Okay. This is said to be systematic sampling. This is also one of the sampling method which is widely used by the researcher. The next one, stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling. Then stratified random sampling is a method where the population can be divided into smaller groups, then that do not overlap but represent the entire population together. While sampling, these groups can be organized and then draw a sample from each group separately. Okay. I repeat, stratified random sampling is a method where the population can be divided into smaller groups that do not overlap but represents the entire population together. While sampling, these groups can be organized and then draw a sample from each group separately. For example, with regard to stratified sampling, a researcher looking to analyze the characteristics of people belonging to different annual income divisions and will create a strata, that is group according to the annual family income, such as less than 20,000, then 21,000 to 30,000, 31,000 to 40,000, 41,000 to 50,000. Like that, he will be dividing the population, will be grouping. And people belonging to different incomes groups can be observed to draw the conclusion with income groups. And this characteristics can be studied. Then marketers can analyze which income group to be target and which one to eliminate in order to create a roadmap that would definitely get a good result. Okay. Then here in stratified sampling, there will be di- division of population to choose the best sample. Okay. Then here the example is given like a researcher is looking to analyze the futures of the a set of population belonging to different annual income groups. Okay, there is for example, like you want to study the consumer perception towards a set of goods, and to analyze the consumer perception, he will be dividing the entire population into different groups on the basis of the income. Like from there is first group goes 20,000, less than 20,000. Then and the second group goes 21,000 to 30,000. Then the third group goes like 31,000 to 40,000 income. Then 41,000 and above. It goes as a fourth category. It will be dividing into different categories. Less than 20,000. Then 21,000 to 30,000, 31,000 to 40,000, 41,000 to 50,000 and above. Okay, like that he will be dividing the population, and he will be collecting data, that is from each category. 10 samples he will take and he will study, and he will analyze which category will be the targeted group for him. Okay, then like that the market researchers can analyze the consumer preference towards a set of goods on the basis of the income, and they can find the target population in which they can find a desired results. Okay, that's about the different types and probability sampling. Okay, Then in probability sampling, there are 4 types. One is simple random sampling. Then second one is cluster sampling. Third one is systematic sampling. The fourth one is stratified sampling. Okay. Then here one more you have the what are the uses of the probability sampling method. Okay. Then here if you see the uses, or I can say the advantages. Number one is reduces the sample bias. Okay. Then using the probability sampling method, the bias in the sampling derived from the population is negligible. Then the section of the sample largely depicts the understanding and the inferences of the researcher. Then probability sampling leads to higher quality data collection as the population is appropriately represented by the sample. Then next one is diverse population. That is, when the population is large and diverse, very big, it is important to have adequate representation so that data is not skewed towards one demographic. Then, for example, if Spire would like to understand the people that could their point of sale devices, a survey conducted from a sample of people across India from different industries and socioeconomic backgrounds will be helping. And then that is here in diverse population or most populated countries, every unit in the population will get a equal chance for representation. Okay. Then next one is the probability sampling creates the accurate sample. That is, probability sampling helps the researcher plan and create a accurate sample. This helps to obtain a well-defined data. Okay. Then these are all the few advantages, or we can say the uses of probability sampling. One is it will be reducing the sample bias. Then it will be covering the diverse population, that is the large set of population. Then it by using probability sampling, we can create an accurate sample. Okay, that is, it helps the researchers to plan and create a accurate sample. This helps to obtain a well-defined data. Okay, then that's about the probability sampling. In the next session, we will be discussing about the non-probability sampling methods. Okay, then Saklan, you take a snapshot and send it to me for this one.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, for attendance purpose.
Sir.
Yes, Anthony.
Sir, notes for this thing, sir, unit, sir.
I think notes is given already.
No, sir, but this now what and all you explained is not there much in that note, sir.
Okay, this I will be providing. Yeah.
Okay, sir, because types of sampling and all is not there in that note, sir.
Is it? Okay, okay. I will. Yeah, I will send it to you.
So kindly take in the morning times only, sir. In this time we can't hear, sir.
No, no. In the morning times, Harshita, listen. There will, many will be using at the evening times. The mobile network will be stable. Yesterday in the morning, I took 9 to 10.
At this time,
No, no.
sir.
Listen, for MCOM, I took the class. Then after at 15 minutes, 20 minutes, there was a cut, signal cut. And then after 2, after 3 will be it will be clear. The voice also will be clear.
But 4 o'clock it's somewhat time.
You are at
sir.
home only, na, Harshita. You need not to get ready for class, right?
ఇంట్లో ఉంటాం సార్ వినేదానికి ఇట్టినాం సార్ వేరేం సార్ చెప్తానది సార్ ఇంట్లో ఉంటే ఈయన
Don't worry, I am recording also, that I will give you to you. Okay. MP3 recordings
Sir, I have sent the attendance, sir.
Send it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay. Enough for today. We'll meet tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.